19 people, most from one family, were killed in an artillery barrage in the middle of the night. Most of the victims, women and children, all in the village of Beit Hanoun.
In Jerusalem, the Israeli Prime Minister, Ehud Olmert, has said a technical failure by Israeli artillery was responsible for the death.
This is certainly not the policy of Israel, this is not the objective of the government of Israel, and this is tragic, and we are very sad about it, and we deeply regret it.
Ehud Olmert, the Israeli Prime Minister, also repeated once again that it was not a deliberate attack on these civilians, and he once again expressed his regret and apologized for what happened in that attack on Beit Hanoun.
I mean, deliberate or not, there has been a huge welter of condemnation, sort of globally almost, for Israel. Do you get any sense that they are feeling that pressure?
Well, they're certainly very aware of it and doing their best to explain their position.
Chargé, let me ask you about what the Prime Minister has said. There is still that suspicion that this artillery shell on the house was really designed to enrage Hamas and Fatah militants and sabotage progress on them coming to a joint position.
Well, this is absolutely not the case.
Unintentional tragedy today, and we will try and understand and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Nevertheless, Chargé, can I just put this to you? Despite what you say, there remains that suspicion, along with the incident where a family were killed on the beach in Gaza a few weeks ago, along with the Kana refugee camp in South Lebanon in 1986. This 1996. This suspicion that actually at times like this, Israel would choose targets which cause political problems.
Well, I must categorically deny the fact that there is any intention behind it. We are talking about yesterday's event has yet to be investigated, and we sincerely hope the investigation will be over in a matter of days, as the Prime Minister and the Defense Minister have ordered. But there is absolutely no intention behind it.
We've counted in all so far 8 impact zones. And the big question really has to be, why did Israel send so many artillery shells into an area that quite clearly was full of civilians?
Now the Arab League, the Organization of the Islamic Conference and the non-aligned movement are pushing for UN intervention. The Palestinians' UN observer, Riyad Mansour.
This is terrorism. This is state terrorism. These are war crimes for which the perpetrators must be held accountable under international law.
The wording of the resolution needs further work before a vote which could take place next week. However, Israel's man at the UN, Daniel Carman, had some strong words of his own.
Mr. President.
What is enough time? When is it okay to say no more? When is enough enough?
This was the funeral procession for 18 Palestinians killed by Israeli shell fire. The Asamna family was completely wiped out. The victims, aged 1-year-old, 3, 5, 8. The oldest was 70 years old.
I don't know whether Israel can always say that it's a mistake when it perpetrates so many massacres while they were asleep. One family, complete family wiped out. when they were asleep. Israel cannot go on saying this to the world, killing innocent civilians, including women and children. We were really disappointed that there is no strong condemnation of killing innocent civilians in Beit Hanoun. That's the least we expect from the international community.
Alan, we talk a lot about the way in which they will respond to things like this, but I suppose we've been told many times a lot of it depends on the conditions in which they're having to live in any case. A group of MEPs has just reported about its shock and being appalled at the conditions they've seen in the Gaza Strip. Are they getting still worse?
Well, certainly Gaza is under the most immense pressure of various kinds. There is the continual Israeli military pressure, Israel seeking to confront the militants who fire rockets across the border into southern Israel, and of course the militants often saying that their their crudely made missiles are a retaliation for Palestinian civilian and militant deaths, such as of the kind that you saw yesterday. But aside from all that military pressure, there is a really deepening economic crisis here. Remember that funds were cut off to the Hamas government, particularly severe Israeli and American sanctions, putting pressure on this place economically all the time.
Alan, in Gaza.
Arab League foreign ministers have been summoned to an emergency meeting in Cairo on Sunday. Arab League Secretary General Amir Moussa says they'll discuss how to respond to Israel's ongoing offensive in Gaza. Prime Minister Ehud Olmert says the incident was caused by a technical error and expressed regret for the bloodshed. Israeli newspapers were filled with a mixture of remorse and recrimination. The Idioth newspaper says this was not a mistake, this was a disaster. It's a regrettable mistake when you step on someone's toe, not when you kill 11 members of one family.
We should stand, all of us, against the killing of innocent people in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and not only against the killing of Americans. That's what we expect from the highly generous and trustworthy American people, whom we salute always, because we know when they know of killing people, they don't approve, and they make a stand as they did in the latest elections.